What's going on, Internet? You got Jacob,
Anton,
Lev.
and this is Poorly Lit Discussion 3, guest starring Lev. It's good to be back. So, we're just going to get right back to you. First, we have some holdover topics from last time. The first one's from Voteche, and the topic is Nigel Thornberry, the father of the Wild Thornberries, the male protagonist. Well, not protagonist, but yeah. So, Nigel Thornberry, Lev, what do you think?
Aw, shit, man. It's been years since I've seen the Wild Thornberries.
All right, Anton?
great dad, great documentarian, great individual, a hero to us all.
Voiced by Tim Curry.
I would have liked to have known more about his, film style. Like, I feel like we didn't see that much of him in the show.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, there's
You
not...
see him do the narrations at the very beginning.
Yeah, but, like, how far can you really go with a David Attenborough parody, you know? Like, he was a David Attenborough parody. Which is great. There's not nearly enough David Attenborough parodies in the world. But, you know, still. Watchman Toaster. Okay, so, Nigel Thornberry. Our next topic comes to us from Zigzag Zang, who asks if one of us... What? The producer's giving me the go-ahead on the arc reactor. Zigzag Zang, his topic is, if one of you had to take a pine cone in the ass, who would it be? Who would do the shoving? How far would it go? And would it be a fat pine cone or a long pine cone? Now, this topic was originally submitted when we believed that there would only be 2 people in this video. However, there are 3. So one of us doesn't have to do anything. Oh...
I'm doing them both.
Okay, great. You know what, man? I'll if you need me to, I'll shove. I'll use a stick because I don't want any part of that business.
I feel like it's better if you have the control to do it yourself.
So do you envision yourself doing this on some sort of like pole sticking out of the ground?
I was thinking Anton could
just reaching back.
To the camera.
Oh yeah, I was thinking Anton could like attach the pine cone to the stick and like he's wiping his butt or something, but then he
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll need to see some schematics, but I could buy this.
Alright. We'll get back to it.
Cool. Alright, so thank you, Zigzag Zang. Ah! Ah! That was close. So, our next topic comes to us from You're Hilarious, who says why they should have made the Green Lantern movie with the black guy and why Ryan Reynolds should have been Deadpool. First of all, Jesse, come on, man. African-American guy. No, I'm just fucking with you. So, for those of you who don't know as much about Green Lantern, Hal Jordan is the one that's in the movie, but Jon Stewart, who is African American, was in the TV series and is far well known. See you guys. Mitch and Layla are leaving, so see you later. More Misfits later.
I'm sorry we interrupted.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Balls.
He's now more famous, and people were very upset when they announced that it would be Ryan Reynolds and not an African American, a black person playing the character. So, what do you guys think?
I mean, honestly, I'm more familiar with Justice League or whatever,
Right.
the TV show.
Is
So-
the Green Lantern black in the comic strip?
Well, so Hal Jordan is the one they're making the movie about, was the main Green Lantern. He started in the late 50s, and then they did Guy Gardner a little later, and then in the 70s they introduced Jon Stewart, I believe. I don't actually.
I see, and Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart was Green Lantern. Jon Stewart was black, and Hal Jordan wasn't Green Lantern for a while, so Jon Stewart filled in, and he was Green Lantern for a while. When they made the TV series, they wanted to diversify it up, so that instead of creating a new character, they used an old character, which they should do. That was a good call. And Jon Stewart's a great character. They did some really cool stuff with him. So I don't know. I think it makes sense to run it makes sense for them to be doing Hal Jordan, so he's the famous one.
The Green Lantern's kind of like a lefty superhero now.
No, like left wing.
Yeah,
he's pretty right wing. He's in the military.
Oh,
I think they established that he votes Republican.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So I was misinformed.
And I want to move on to the next topic, but Ryan Reynolds should be, if they make a Deadpool movie, they should get Ryan Reynolds to do it, because I think he'd do a really good job, because he was decent as Wade Wilson and Wolverine, even if the rest of that movie was a piece of shit. So, next topic comes to us from Phoenix Penn, who's clearly another Bay Area resident, because she asks what our best or worst BART ride ever was. So, who'd like to go first? I have one in mind. I have the worst ever, but yeah, I have one in mind.
I don't know. My worst ever was like after like baseball games, the entire train was just like loaded down. Somebody fainted on that BART
Oh,
ride.
Jesus.
Like it was just like too packed, too many people in one car.
Mine is actually more or less the same. It was after the huge Green Day concert at SBC Park.
Mm-hmm.
Back when it was still SBC Park before it was AT&T Park. Yeah, so right after, the BART was filled to the fucking brim with Green Day fans. I should have gone to that show. I actually could have gone to that show, but I cut my toe open that day. True story. So I couldn't go. But no, it was cool. No, it was terrible. What am I saying?
What happened?
It was just full, like, it was like coming back from a baseball game, but it was just completely full of people. So we're under the bay. I thought about dying. I thought that was something that could happen. For those it's the subway, but, BART, it's like under. Anyway, Anton, do you have one?
I don't have a good one.
That's alright. Then Swampy has supplied us with the topic of Doctor Who. Doctor Who's great. It's back in a few days, like tomorrow. Lev doesn't watch, but
yeah.
It's super good.
Super excited, yeah.
Sorry if that seems short. We're trying to breeze through these. Pim Particles, the good friend of the show, along with actually all these people, everyone so far. Pim Particles wants us to talk about the Scarlet Spider. Do you guys know anything about Scarlet Spider?
Just, because you're behind.
Right. Scarlet Spider. So Spider-Man got cloned one time by this guy named the Jackal. Jackals do cloning, I guess. He got cloned by this guy named the Jackal. The clone vanished, but was never, killed, and then came back later with all of Peter Parker's memories. He started calling himself Ben Reilly. A whole bunch of things happened. He was the Scarlet Spider for a bit. What I like about the Scarlet Spider is his costume. It's really simple. It's basically the Spider-Man design, but it's all red except for the white eyes. And then, so no, webs or anything. And then he's wearing a hoodie with the sleeves and hood ripped off, with a spider, spray painted on it, and then he's got these cool webbed things that shoot, different kinds of weapons. I think his costume was cool. Everything else about the Clone Saga is terrible. Legitimately awful. Legitimately bad. Because the Clone, it was the 90s. For a while, Ben Reilly, Ben Reilly is the name that he adopted, thought he was the real Peter Parker. This is tedious. I don't like explaining this. I feel like people aren't really interested in this. Scarlet Spider, cool costume, bad everything else. Fatty Magoo supplied the topic of eggplants. Guys?
I'm not a big fan of eggplants.
Yeah,
I do
eggplant.
like the one Courage the Cowardly Dog episode with eggplants.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Eggplant Aliens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Courage, that was a cool show.
Yeah, eggplants are great. Eggplants that are baked or sauteed or eggplant parmesan. There's a lot of good things about eggplants.
I had it on pizza once at a cheese board.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
They do an eggplant pizza.
How was it?
It was good. I'm not really, cheese board.
I wouldn't be crazy about
cheese
that.
board. They put on stuff like mushrooms and other things that I'm not really a fan of, or olives. But since it's cheese board, I just eat it. Cheese board is a place in Berkeley where you don't pick your topping; they just do a different pizza every day, and it's the same pizza every day of the week. But it's the same pizza every Thursday, But it's fairly affordable and it's all vegetarian, and they just do cool shit like corn and feta and garlic. I think. I went there a couple days ago. I don't know where I got. But a cheese board, it's a Berkeley place. If you're in Berkeley, you should totally hear that. All right, let's go to some of the other held over topics. Phoenix Pen, another one from Phoenix Pen, recommended Steampunk versus 50s Retro. 50s Retro, I believe she's referring to Fallout, that sort of thing.
Wait, what's Fallout?
It's a video game series. It's a very popular video game series where the
And
apocalypse.
It's 50s Retro.
The apocalypse happened in the 50s, so that's what
Okay.
they have held over. So they listen to music in the 50s, and there's all these signs and whatnot from the 50s, but it's a wasteland. Radio Free Wasteland. We're here.
Man, I'd want to see that. I know Steampunk's really awesome.
Steampunk is really cool.
There's a steampunk club in Prague that I went to.
That's awesome.
It was so awesome, and the entire thing was just steampunk decor. I like, steampunks, double-decker seating areas where they were decrepit buses. It was too awesome.
I think I prefer steampunk too. When I was away at school a couple weeks ago, someone said that he was writing a steampunk story, and I was the only person in the room who knew what that meant, which meant he had to explain it to everybody. And he kind of made it make sense. I think a little people were still confused. Here's how I describe steampunk: Abraham Lincoln wearing a jetpack, and instead of an army, is a Gatling gun.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So it's whatever that looks like.
Badass.
Yeah, steampunk is really cool. So yeah, I think we're unanimous. Steampunk is better than 50s Retro, unless Anton. I know you were Fallout. You play a lot of
I'd like
Fallout.
to see that.
I did play a lot of Fallout, but steampunk is just cool. It's from the 19th century, so cooler time period than the 50s.
Indeed. And one more holdover from Swampy, the topic of Digimon versus Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I'm inclined to agree. You guys?
I never played Digimon.
Yeah, I
I mean, the show. I watched a bit of the show, and I just couldn't hold a candle to Pokemon. Yeah.
Ben really liked it.
Ben really liked it.
Show,
Ben likes a lot of strange things.
it's true.
Ben's great.
We like you, Ben.
We like Ben. We like you, Ben. We know you're watching this video. Ben, we think you're a cool guy. I'm just not a fan of Digimon. No slight against you, just not a fan. Not for
I
me.
mean, Digimon, the show itself was okay. It was really. It was
The problem I have with Digimon. Okay, so when Pokemon, I saw someone made a comic of this on. I saw this on Tumblr, but it sums up my thoughts on it really well. In Pokemon, when a Pokemon evolves, it becomes a bigger, more badass version of itself. It like gets bulkier, and like it gets larger, it gets more attributes, and looks more badass. In Digimon, when it evolves, it looks more or less the same, but it's wearing people clothes and has guns for some reason.
not in the original.
No, in the original, where Garurumon, I had the toy of him. When he turned from Garurumon into Garurumon, he wore like a cut-off denim vest and and pants. Like when he evolves, he gets pants. What? I mean, when Machamp evolves, he grows a belt. But that always bothered me. Where do these clothes come from? Can he take them off? Do these just appear? Because when he's Machop, he's like naked, and then he turns into Machoke.
I mean,
Well,
honestly, I
Jinx
think
evolves from
Pokemon
Smoochum,
is
so I think of that as being like
more
armor.
scientifically
But
accurate of
he
shows.
literally grows clothes. So that's our Portland discussion for tonight. We ran a bit long. So thanks to Lev for guesting. Thanks to Mitch and Layla, and thanks to Cicely for off-camera commentary and whatnot. And see you next time.